Hi, so this is my first vlog. I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I'm going to be participating in a new meme called Fragment Fridays, hosted by James of the Book Chic. And it's where you read an excerpt from one of your favorite books or a book you're currently reading. And I'm going to be reading an excerpt from 13 to Life by Shannon Delany, because it's an awesome book, and because I have Peter here to help me read it. So a little bit about 13 to Life. It's about Jess, and she just lost her mom, and she doesn't really want things to change, but there's been some weird stuff going on in her town and in surrounding towns, and she's interested in it. And she meets this new boy, Peter, and he is this dark, mysterious new boy with a secret, and just kind of gets tangled into all that. So I'm gonna read a part from actually the first chapter where you first meet Peter and everyone, his family. So here we go. These are the Rosikoffs, Mr. Malloy said, motioning to the group. Out of the corner of my eye, I watched the cop set down his mug and pick up a brochure on the windowsill. It had to just be a coincidence he was here. Just more bad timing. Typical stuff at my high school. I turned my attention back to the Rusikovas. I smiled encouragingly. They did not. Mr. Malloy rounded the table and, peering none too subtly at their name tags, pointed to one of them, announcing, "This is Peter Rusakova. He's in 11th grade this year. A junior, just like you." I kept the smile plastered across my face, across my lips, groaning inwardly. So that was what this was about. "Hello, Peter." I couldn't help my uninspired tone. I wasn't a girl who liked being saddled with the responsibility of escorting newbies to class. Mr. Malloy slid his glasses back up the bridge of his nose and gave me a warning glare. "Here is Peter's schedule. Show him around and make sure he's not late." The police officer glanced at me, saying slowly to Peter, "Got that, Rusakova? Don't be late." Something prickled along my spine at his tone. The eldest in the group smiled broadly and wrapped his arm around Peter. "Of course he won't be late, Officer Kent," he guaranteed. Peter is very glad to be at Junction High. Peter did not seem so convinced. Officer Kent said, "We can't have people avoiding an education." "We were getting one," the other boy, according to his name tag Maximilian, muttered. The eldest cuffed him on the back of the head, attempting comedy, but I sensed a threat in the display. I took the slip of paper and quickly compared it to my own. I looked from the officer to Peter and back to the schedule. Handing my pass over for a signature, my eyes paused on Peter again. He glowered darkly before me, a sharp contrast to the eldest male's bright smile. I should have forged Mr. Malloy's signature after all. "Okay," I said, more to myself than to my silent ward. "We're both in Ashton's lit class. Let's head in that direction for starters." Peter gave me one brief nod of his head, but his face was a tight mask of disinterest. Exiting the office, I tried to keep my curiosity in check while I steered him by locations he needed to know as a student at Junction High. I pointed and explained until my arms were tired and my mouth was dry. He never said a word, never responded with more than a nod. Bathroom, library, cafeteria, art shop, band, gym, main office, nurse, in-school suspension. I eyed him, speculating. Who knew how fast someone like him could land an ISS? He had that could-be-trouble look, and obviously he came with baggage of the police escort type. But surely he wasn't dangerous. The cops would never let me derail a criminal to class, would they? I continued walking and explaining, gradually increasing the distance between us. If he noticed, he never mentioned it. The thought he could be dangerous made me nervous, and when I get nervous, I get talkative. I glanced at his schedule again. "Oh, your name's not Peter," I said, wondering if I'd been pronouncing it at all correctly. "Huh. P-I-E-T-R. It's Pie-Eater." He winced. I read it again. "No, Piotr." He stared at me. "Peyoter?" I tried. I was determined to get it right. Mr. Malloy had obviously botched this, like everything else. My mouth twisted, ready to go one more time. One more round with the name, but he raised a hand, staring at me like he was in shock. Or maybe pain. I felt my ears go tomato red. I have never heard so many creative pronunciations of my name. He smiled, but only briefly. Peter, he said. The pronunciation is the same, just not the spelling. He tugged off the misspelled name tag and crumpled it up. Oh, he didn't seem dangerous. Weird, I said suddenly. You know, it's actually kind of spelled like my worry stone. I dug into my jean pocket and pulled out the large flat bead I carried. Gold, silver, and milky white threaded through the dark blue. This is Petersite, Pieter. I held it out in my open palm, and thought I saw momentary interest in his eyes. A worry stone? My dad's idea. It's also called Tempest Stone. People say it's good for a lot of stuff, like dealing with change and transformation. Oh, and your gallbladder, I think, or spleen. I shrugged, slipping it back into my pocket. He definitely looked interested now. Maybe he had spleen issues? What do you think it's good for? Rubbing when I'm stressed, I shrugged again. Besides, like Shakespeare said, what's in a name, right? He looked past me. Romeo and Juliet. I hate that play. Well, how could anyone with a brain hate a classic like that? A good writer should get people to feel something, I guess. He started walking again. I started walking again, hoping to catch his attention. Even when he spoke directly to me, he seemed distant, unreachable, like this wasn't important. What was with him? Was I being blown off? So, why the cop? I'd figure I'd just go for it, ask the question about the elephant in the room. Peter didn't pause, just continued walking beside me. We went to Europe last year and didn't tell the school. Oh, my brain reeled at the thought of just going to Europe. So you basically skipped school for a few months. Oh. And I'm going to end there. So if this interested you, please go check it out because it's a really good book and I love it. And this is Peter. And you can check out my Peter Was Ransom post, which I'll put a link to see if you can get him too. He's going on a little tour to get back home. So go check out 13 to Life, and hopefully I'll be doing this next week, even though I'll be in London. I'm going to try. Thanks.